All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Let's talk about the NBA draft, and I want to talk about the NBA draft in a different way. You know what I'm saying? The NBA draft. I watched the whole first round, and let me tell you something about the NBA draft. The NBA draft is beyond boring. Is beyond garbage. It is so bad. Compare the NFL draft to the NBA draft. It's not even a comparison, bro. It's not even a comparison. It is so sad what the NBA draft has become. I'll even take it a step further. The WNBA draft this year was better than the NBA draft. And take it from someone like me. I watched the WNBA draft this year. I said it on my podcast and I said it now because I wanted to see where Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese went. It was way more better, way more entertaining than the NBA draft. And that is sad that an inferior product, their draft was way better than the NBA draft. It is beyond horrible how this product, how the NBA has just killed college basketball. It is beyond, it's so bad. How do you kill a product that worked? And for anybody, y'all remember some of y'all, all the older heads who tune into my channel, the reason why Michael Jordan was such a big name, and so was Larry Bird in Indiana or Indiana State, whatever team he was with, Michigan State with a Magic. I forgot where Isaiah Thomas went. I think he went to Michigan too, or Michigan State. One of those teams. Someone in the comment section can correct me. Elijah won. Who else? Barkley, Stockton, all these guys had big names in the NBA draft is because they played in college. They played in college. I'll even take it a step further. For all of the 2000s people, y'all remember when Blake Griffin was a big name in Oklahoma? Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that? This dude, Blake Griffin, was projected to be a first round. Well, he did go in the first round. First ballot Hall of Famer. Granted, Blake's going to go to the Hall of Fame because everybody goes to the NBA, well, the basketball Hall of Fame. But at the same time, he was such a big name. Him, Derrick Rose, what's his name? Steph Curry at Davidson, who I think Steph Curry finished in the Final Four, in the Elite Four, or in the top 8 or something like that, or the Elite 8 or something along those lines. It is beyond horrible how this NBA draft has become so miserable. And listen, look, I get it. The college hoops doesn't. Oh man, how can listen? Because I can understand both sides of the story. I can understand people wanting kids to play in college to build their brands, and I do believe college is a good developmental stage instead of just throwing these guys in the NBA and letting them figure out. Like, can you imagine if Ant, instead of just being in the league for the last 2 to 3 years, if he was in college and worked on his game? But so I understand it from that point, but I also understand that there's no incentive to stay in college basketball because there's no money in it. Now, granted, NIL might change that. But at the same time, if I'm Adam Silver, I might force these guys to stay until they're at least 2021 to at least build a brand, to at least have some star potential come into the league. These guys are just coming out 18, 19 years old, and they don't even know how to ball. And that's why that's why the bust rate, no Diddy, is so high in the NBA, is because you have a bunch of kids coming into the league. And they don't know how to play against these grown men who've played in the league for 7, 8, 9 years. And I'm going to give you the best example. For the majority of people who are on my channel, do y'all remember when Zion Williamson was at Duke? John Morant was in college. Trae Young was at Oklahoma. Who else am I thinking? RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish with Duke. Do you remember the excitement about that? Do you know the reason why people are still excited about Zion Williamson and believe in Zion Williamson and want him to succeed? Is because what he did at Duke was fantastic. That was the best time to be watched. That was like the last hurrah for college hoops. Was Zion Williamson for the last couple of years. Because even RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish, I'll say RJ Barrett because I don't remember where Cam Reddish went. But even for RJ Barrett, who's not a good player. Trust me, I'm a Knicks fan. He's not all that spectacular. But he went in the top 3 because he played 2 to 3 years at Duke. He built his brand. Was he the best player in the NBA? No. But it was so exciting to watch those guys play. Coach K. There's nothing with college basketball, and that's why the NBA draft is so dead. The simple fact that we have these French boys, and once again, I'm not against international talent, because look at Nikola Jokic, Luka, Wemby, and stuff like that. I get it, I understand it, but at the same time, the simple fact that the NBA draft, I was struggling to get past. The simple fact that Bronny James, a guy who averaged 4 points, is the biggest star in this draft this year, shows how dead this draft is. The simple fact that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese got more publicity in the WNBA draft, where these hoes can't even score on a high school basketball, boys high school basketball team, that they got more star power in their WNBA draft than the NBA draft, shows how bad and how much Adam Silver needs to at least somewhat fix college hoops. Somewhat fix it. Like, when you compare college basketball to football, it's not even a comparison, because the NFL made it. I think the NFL said the quarterbacks have to at least stay for, I think, until they're 20, 21 years old. And we all know the stars of the league majority of the time are the quarterbacks. But college basketball is beyond dead. March Madness is beyond dead, bro. And it sucks, because I look at I remember Zion Williamson at Duke. It was amazing what he did. How much star power, how much publicity he did, bro. And I'm watching the NBA draft, and I'm texting my boys. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to sleep, bro. The Knicks are at 24, 25. The Lakers at 17. And I'm like, bro, this is beyond horrible, man. But that's my thoughts. What are yours? What's your thoughts on the do y'all agree with me that the NBA draft is beyond dead, and that they need to fix college basketball somehow, some way? That's my thoughts. What are yours? RJ out.